as you know, I've had experiences with the paranormal, and even I know that you don't use a Ouija board, because the Ouija board, it invites all sorts of trouble. The experiences I have with the paranormal, I don't invite. They just happen to me. I don't invite them in. I don't encourage them to come in. The spirits may come like through video camera or through tape recorder. Then, you know, I don't invite them in. If they're already present, like with Barnabas, he was already here, and he had already got my attention. I didn't go out to search for him. I had an audible, and I had also got smacked. So I had to do some research to find out what it was related to. But I didn't go using a Ouija board. I did some research, and then I decided, well, as I was already being contacted, I would connect, only briefly, which I did, and his spirit is now moved on. I haven't had any further problems with his spirit, but although he wasn't really, I think initially he was just trying to get my attention, but I never went out, I never used a Ouija to make contact with him. He made the initial contact with me, and that's when I tried to find out more about who was here and why he would be here. But the place is calm now. He's moved on, like I said. But I never, like I said, I never used a Ouija. He made contact with me. And there's a difference. When they make contact with you, that's different. But I can also tell you that demons are real. And how I know this is I photographed one in a churchyard, which I hoped to put together a video clip showing you the photograph of this demon and what I think happened. What it is, my dog got really panicky because she was, because I got a little Yorkie, and she really just did not. She was on my scooter, and she just wasn't. She started going frantic. So I used the night shot on my camera, and I used an automatic shot. And when I got home and loaded it on the computer, I was shocked to see what I saw. Well, that churchyard that I photographed it at, that had been used by youths for drugs and all sorts like that. Also, I did some research on the village, and it seemed like back in the 1700s, when the village was first established, they used to send the criminals of society, and that's how the town was set up. But how this demon was invoked, I don't know. It obviously wasn't, because it was behind the fence, so it couldn't come to me, and it wouldn't have touched me. It didn't follow me home. But the thing is, I managed to photograph it, which is even a surprise to me. And I think, you know, I really need to get it up online, because for those of you who don't believe demons are real, they are real. And in the picture, if you look behind, the demon actually is in the shape of like a dog, and then behind it you see like two faces. Now, as I said, I don't know if that's related to the history of the village, or if it's related to any activity that may have taken place in that churchyard, which is also a cemetery. So I'm going to have to get it onto a video some stage and get it onto YouTube so you can see it for yourself. But I know for a fact the Ouija board is not to be messed with, and you know, and those of you who play with it thinking, oh, there's nothing to this paranormal thing, you know, it's just a game. Well, I advise you to take note, because the Ouija boards, what it is, they're like a doorway. Once you start using it, the entities just use it to come in, and entities will come in more than one. My sister when she was younger, used a Ouija board with a friend, and she told me, I thought she was winding me up. This is my older sister. She's my half sister. She said that the planchette lifted up off the board and flew around the room, and she had never touched a Ouija board after that. So, and I can't remember the guy who's I'm responding to here, but he is very correct. All kinds of things can happen when you use a Ouija board. You're opening yourself up to being possessed, and if you either think it's a joke or you use it to, even if you think, let's see what happens if we conjure up a demon, don't, because you will find that if you don't believe in the world of the paranormal, you will believe, because it is very real and can be very dangerous. And like I said, I've had experiences since I was 4, and I've learned and understood all my experiences. I've learned to discern what's happened to me. I've learned how to deal with it. Like I said, I even got a photograph of a demon, which I really didn't want to get. The reason I was photographing a church in the evening is because it's a lovely little church in this village, and I never expected to see anything like that come up on the camera. So, I still think the reason that demon showed up when I was able to photograph it, I think that someone may have gone into the churchyard, a group of kids or something, took a Ouija board in there, and without realizing it, they had invoked a demon. Because the only way demons can be, the only way they can actually come in is if they're invited in, or you allow them in. I did actually get a recording of a demon's voice in my front room, and I invoked the commandment that Jesus gave, and he disappeared. And I haven't had any problems with regarding to demons, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. There are good spirits and there are bad spirits. There are things that we do not understand fully that are now slowly making their way into our realm, because there are different dimensions of reality. There's a lot more between us. It says, like Shakespeare, Hamlet, there are more in heaven and earth than in our own philosophy. And if you start tampering with it and thinking, there's nothing to it, it's all a lot of rubbish, well, I suggest you take this guy's advice and listen to what he's saying, and try to get a copy of that book. I'm going to try to find a copy of it and add it to my library, because these things are real, and if you don't know, Barnabas, he could have very well turned out to be a demon, but fortunately he wasn't, and like I said, his spirit moved on. But he could have been, he could have very well been a demon, and he could have been he could have done a lot more if he was a demon, but he didn't. And like I said, his spirit's moved on now, and he's back with his family. And the reason he was grounded was because he felt he was burdened with guilt and couldn't move on. But there are real demons out there, and the Ouija board, they love to use the Ouija board to come through. So for goodness sake, listen to this man. He is telling you correctly, and he is right. If you really want to have the closest of spirit, know Jesus, as I call him, Yeshua, and know the love and the power of the Lord, because that will protect you if any spirits do try to make contact with you without your permission, or without being invited. So God bless.